Sendai, where I am, is in the heart of this unfolding tragedy, where families that made it through the quake and the tsunami are now wondering whether they'll survive the aftermath. Here's Ian Willams in another part of the city.
With many roads still impassable, we travelled as far north as a helicopter could take us. A 2-hour drive then took us to what remains of a coastal region ravaged by the tsunami triggered by that quake. The port city of Sendai was the closest city to the quake's epicenter. One of the worst affected areas is this industrial and housing zone around the airport. Some of the first images broadcast of the tsunami came from here. The water barreling ashore and sweeping across Sendai Airport Friday, engulfing runways and battering the air bridges. This is what it looked like on the ground today. This is the parking lot of the Sendai Flying School. Now amid the wrecked cars sits this training aircraft, dumped here by the wave, swept from the hangars over the back there. Houses have been reduced to muddied and shattered piles of wood and plaster, vehicles violently flung from the roads. The tsunami here reached around 2 miles inland, destroying just about everything in its path, swept up in that violent torrent of water. This really gives you a sense of the power of the wave. Here the remains, I guess, of many, many houses, as well as barrels, tyres, all manner of debris. Soldiers and rescue workers have been pouring into the area by road and from the air, scouring the area. It's a massive operation. The authorities say they found 300 bodies in just one area close to the airport, and there are still many people unaccounted for. We found desperate relatives searching for missing family members. This couple were looking for her sister, who had lived close to the airport. They'd heard nothing from her since the quake struck. There's no power, no water, and what few shops remain open are being overwhelmed. Yuri Nemoto and her husband Akira had been lining up at this shop for more than 2 hours, hoping to buy milk and diapers for their 1-year-old daughter. Theirs had been a lucky escape.
I grabbed my baby after somebody yelled, "Run, a tsunami's coming." You could see the waves foaming, so I collected whatever I could and fled in my car. I had to leave most things behind, so I have nothing for my daughter.
As we filmed today, panic again struck this neighborhood. Emergency vehicles suddenly came racing down the road, sirens wailing and warning through blaring loudspeakers. We too were urged to leave the area. There's a tsunami coming, a tsunami, move on. People here are very, very jittery. They're now streaming out of the lower-lying areas, urged by officials to move to higher ground. Though thankfully the surging water didn't return. It was a false alarm, though that will be little comfort for this battered and traumatized city.